Hello, good evening. Welcome to Sipur Amaisius, a Maisa from the Burgher and the Pauper. So, as we said before, just 1 second. Let me share the screen. So, as we said before, the Burgher went and to the house of the general, which is into the Tivus that the person is there. Woke up just 1 second. I need to do, which I didn't do. Right. We go again. And every time, he woke her up and took her out of the house of the general. And he realized that they were being, sought. And he together with her in those 7 pools, different kind of pools of water, mikveh, reservoir, lake, all these different places of water are the both the nisyonis and the tikkunim that a person needs to go. Yes, the tzaddik comes down to our place and wakes us up and say, "Come with me." In other words, lean on me, lean on my strength. And immediately when you get up and you decide that you want to get out of the trap that a person is in this world, immediately the sitracha starts chasing him, and every single place he goes to hide in a place of water. The place of water, we see all these places are low places. It's a mikveh, it's a hole in the ground, it's a lake. The water represents, on one hand, the opportunity to purify oneself and to elevate oneself. On the other hand, water, as Rabbeinu says in Torah Dalet, is the source of all pleasures. Because the water is the thing that grows everything that gives pleasure to a person. So it's a double-edged sword. Dafka, when a person does something extraordinary to get himself out of his predicament, usually a person feels like, all right, now that I've done such an amazing thing, I deserve a medal. I deserve, special recognition. And in fact, what he's getting is a 2x4 straight in the face. The thing is that before a person actually deals with his tivus achila, it could be, tivus niuf, it could be tivus momen, it could be tivus kovid, it could be any one of those things. Rabbeinu says in Torah Chafei that first of all, there has to be that a person is in the tivus, let's say, tivus achila. A person feels that I must eat, and I must eat this delicious food because this particular delicious food is gourmet food, is the way that I get myself into the right headspace, into Sefer Kadosh Baruch Hu, and I gotta eat a lot, and with this I'm a car of people or whatever. But then when a person has to break this is a stone heart. Rabbeinu calls this is koich hamedama. Person's in a taiva. When a person breaks this and he gets a notion of where he is really at, the first madama that the person needs to break, the first imagination that the person needs to break is the denial. There's nothing wrong with me. People are talking to me about, guarding my thoughts or guarding my, seeing what I eat or whatever it is, running after money or whatever it is that, okay, it's the kind of, I talk the talk because this is, that's my tribe. They speak like that. That's the kind of diburim that they speak, But that's for the shul. That's for the shur Torah. This is when it's there. But then I go to the real world. The real world is, let's get a, I don't know, Kobe beef or sushi or people watch me and how I do this or how I do that and whatever it is. It's like the reason why this is such a trap is because on one hand, I know that that's the truth. But on the other hand, somehow I'm able to come to a state of mind in which I can know what the truth is and accept where I am away from the truth with an equilibrium. Somehow it works. Not a bad person, not cheating people, not this, not that, whatever. Breaking that koyach hamedama, as Rabbeinu calls it, breaking the heart of stone. This is what they call shamir. Breaking the heart of stone is before you're even starting to work on that particular Yetzer Hara, the realization that it really is bad. No. I mean, it really is something that needs to be worked on. It's not like, this is what we say, that's a slogan. No, it's not a slogan. It's the truth. How I'm going to do it? Usually a person feels, listen, I won't be able to accomplish this as anyhow. So at least I talk the talk, even if I can't walk the walk. But at a certain point in time, a person needs to start breaking the heart of stone and realize, no, there is a sechel amiti, there is a true sechel that I need to get out of my predicament. How, when, that's the next step. But first of all, to realize, no, it's not all right. It's not all right for me to just, to fantasize and to run away from reality or whatever it is that I'm doing, whatever it is that people do in order to assuage their fears or whatever. It really needs to be done. So that happens in those places of water. The more you go up, the harder the test becomes. Because if you don't fight the Sitra Achra, no problem. He's going to hold your coat. He's going to cheer you on. There's no problem. But the minute you decide, no, I really need to extricate myself from from the trap, because life is passing by. It doesn't matter whether I am 13, 23, or 33, or 43, or 53, or 63, or 73, or 83, or 93. It doesn't make a difference. So he says, okay, now he found himself and he reached his country. And he says there was tremendous joy. And the Burgher, because he had done such a thing, in addition that he was still do trial with her, so that he had a fear of Hashem, he didn't touch her. And because of this, he was remembered by Hashem and was given a son. And she too, the Pauper's wife, also resisted temptation, both with General and the Burgher. And the result, she was deemed worthy and she gave birth to a daughter. Here we're talking about the tzaddik has tremendous mesirus nefesh. Now, the one thing that we need to understand, that if the tzaddik does not leave children, which means if the tzaddik does not leave behind him his Torah in an alive form, in talmidim, in students, and in children, then he disappears. That's not what the tzaddik is about. Reb Nosson writes at great length in Likutei Halachos Shluchim Halacha Hey that when the tzaddik passes away, he only passes away from our perspective. The tzaddik is still alive. When we stop looking for him, when we stop searching for him, either because we don't know who he is, or because we prefer to be close to somebody who is more accessible, we don't have to work that hard, or I already think that I know who he is. I know it's Rabbi Nachman, it's no problem. And I stop searching. This is when the Yitzhak becomes even bigger. The main thing is that you have to withstand the nisayon of realize that the tzaddik is your shidduch, and you have to look for him, and all the time. And because the tzaddik went with such mesirus nefesh to get our neshamas from the quagmire by the general, he was zoicha to a son, which means he was zoicha to a talmid, which means he was zoicha to progeny, so his Torah will continue to revive the people who need it. Now, on the other hand, the let's take a quick look here. The wife of the Pauper, which is us, as a result, she was deemed worthy and she gave birth to a daughter. And the daughter was unbelievably and extraordinarily beautiful. It was a beauty that set her apart from the rest of humanity. Such a beauty is never found among human beings. People would say she should only reach maturity, because when a person is so unique, it is difficult for him to survive to maturity. Her beauty was very extraordinary, the likes of which had never before been seen in the world. And all the people would come to see her. They were very astonished by her beauty, which was very, very extraordinary. And they gave her gifts all the time out of their love for her. And everyone sent so many gifts that the Pauper became wealthy. This particular Nikuda is talking about that which Rabbeinu speaks in Torah Aleph. Beauty and charm and grace is something that happens when the Emunah connects with the Chachma. The Rebbe says that the Chachma has a duty. A Jew is obliged to look at the wisdom that it's inherent in every single thing that occurs to him in his life, to him or her in their lives. Because everything that happens to us is not haphazard. There is no something is happening over here. Supreme Court did this, and Trump did this, and this one did that. That's not what it's about. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing everything. whatever it is that I hear about, whatever it is that I don't hear about, whatever it is that I do, there's a seichel in it. Now, the thing is, it's not possible for you to go into the seichel and figure it out on your own. The only way that you could do it, that seichel is by the tzaddik. The only way you can do it is by being the wife of the pauper, being the emunah. The emunah pshuta. You have to go through nisyonis. You have to go through all kinds of trials and tribulations. And when you are connected to the chokhmah in such a way, wherever it is that they went to one place of water to the next, and she saw the mysterious nefesh that the tzaddik had for her, when we, the people of the tzaddik, see the mysterious nefesh that tzaddik has for us, we have to connect ourselves to him. She said that whatever good that will come to her, she'll give over to him gladly. And she swore, she took an aid, she made a neder, and besides swearing, she also took the place where they were as a testimony. Listen, his wise Rabbeinu telling us that. The reason is that when you come to close to the tzaddik and you are exposed to his greatness, like Am Yisrael were in the desert, they got the Torah, Shavuos, Boyin Shalom. What more can you ask? They figured they had it done. Now they know, yes, Moshe Rabbeinu is the one who brings down the Torah. Finish, okay. They stopped searching for him. The minute Moshe Rabbeinu, disappeared, they didn't know where he was. Instead of doing what Yeshua did, which is standing there and waiting and looking for Moshe Rabbeinu to come, they want something else. They want somebody else. They stopped looking for the tzaddik. And this is the number one goal of the Yetzer Hara. That's why a person has to do all these shtadlus. Now that's the swearing that she did, and that's the fact that she took the pools where she were, whatever it is a testimony. This is all we have to find any way, shape, or form to tie ourselves with the tzaddik, because Yetzer Hara wants to drive us apart. Because our tikkun relies on us being connected to the tzaddik and connect the tzaddik through his talmidim. You have to keep on looking for it. You have to keep on looking for the tzaddik, looking at talmidim, and saying, no, it's not possible the tzaddik left us. Okay, suddenly the tzaddik disappears. So what do? If you have true emunah in the tzaddik, you realize that no matter what, a tzaddik like Moshe Rabbeinu did not leave you with nowhere else to go. He left you with Talmidim, he left you with his Torah, and he's here with you. If you'll keep on searching for him, you will find him, and he will guide you. Because what you're looking for is not the body of the tzaddik, but the Ruach HaKodesh of the tzaddik, the Ruach Nevuah of the tzaddik. This is the thing that cleanses out our imagination and brings us to where we need to get. You see, there was an Epicurus that asked the Rambam about the story of the snake and Etz Hadas Tov Hara, the tree of knowledge, good and bad. And he said to the Rambam, it's very strange because, you picture this episode with the snake as something which is all bad. But the snake, Lamaisa, introduced Adam Rishon to Etz Hadas, which is good and bad. In other words, there was good in it, which means that Adam Rishon got something from it. He got some benefit from it. So why are you taking it all dark, all black? So the Rambam gave him an answer, which one has to really think about. The Rambam said, you have to understand that before the Chet Etz Hadas, Adam Arishon existed on a level of true and false, not good and bad. True or false is objective. Either it's true or it's false. Good and bad, there's a subjective matter. Depends for whom, depends on the circumstances. You know, you can think that you know, deviations from normalcy is a normal thing, and not always you can make a whole society from it and a social movement from it. And anybody who is against it is a Shem Yeracham, as a Nazi. Adam Arishon existed on a level of true and false. That's the reason why Adam Arishon had a skin that was made of light. He had kotnos or. He had, which means that the outside and the inside of Adam Arishon were the same. That's why there was no shame. Adam Arishon was naked, which means his inside and outside were the same. So there's nothing to be shamed about. But the after the Chet Hadas, what happened was that we got kotnas or be'ain. This is a leather skin. When you exchange kotnas or be'alef, garments of light, with garments of skin, what happens is your inside is the inside of a human being, but on the outside we look like donkeys. I mean, human monkeys. Physically, that's the source of shame. Anytime that you mix the ayin and the aleph is always a revelation, and ayin is always a concealment. You know, it is ayin. The Mitzvah Kodesh Baruch Hu is ayin is Ein Sof. Instead, you get an ayin with an ayin you get an eye. An eye can see what it can see. It cannot see inside. It can only see the outside. Or means that you did something that illuminates. In an ayin is called iver, is a blind. Anytime you exchange the aleph with the ayin, you get, instead of revelation, you get blindness. Adam Arishon has descended from Seichel Amiti, true and false, into good and bad. Before 1 + 1 was 2, and there's no such thing as 1 + 1 is 3. Now, depends. If your interests are that 1 + 1 is 3, all right, why not? It's my version of it. That's the way I see myself, as 1 + 1 is 3. This is the of the imagination. The only way that it can be purified and be elevated again to true and false, that the koach hamadama, the imagination, can be included in the tzaddik, in the sechel amiti, is by connected to the tzaddik. Being connected to the tzaddik and mamash, chaining yourself to him, searching for him non-stop. The search itself is the thing that reveals you the tzaddik. It's not the kind of search that you search and maybe you'll find, maybe you won't. By searching, you are finding. The search itself is the finding. You work on it. You have to work hard at it. So nothing will ever drive you away from the tzaddik. And then what you gain is a chen. Rabbeinu says in Torah Aleph, when the Emunah connects properly with the Chochmah, what you gain is an unbelievable grace in the eyes of everybody. Now you have to understand what does a chen means. What does chen do? Well, it looks like it's not a magical thing. What is? Some people are charming, some are not. What gives? What does chen do? Rabbeinu basically explains that when you have charm, when your emunah is connected to true chokhmah, you are creating the desire by everyone outside of you, from a Kodesh Baruch Hu and the Shemaim and people and whatever it is to give you. If you really like someone, for you to give them gives you a pleasure. It turns them, the fact that they receive from you, into givers of pleasure to you. It becomes your pleasure, becomes your privilege to give them. We all know people that, famous people, they're famous because they have shame because of money or because of fame or because of beauty or whatever it is, that people become really obsessive trying to give them because it's such a pleasure, because the chen makes the giver a taker and the taker a giver. Now the emunah that until was just a receiver, now becomes a chen, and everybody wants to give her. Everybody comes to see her. All the oilmas comes to see her. It happens to you as well. When you go with emunah and you're connected to the tzaddik, you are zoichet chen. When you're zoichet chen, everything gravitates your way. Everything gravitates your way. The beauty of Kedusha, the beauty of any nekuda of Kedusha, is more than all the beauty of this world put together. Hashem is Boach, Bezat Hashem will continue next week. Hashem should help us to be zoichel, to connect ourselves to the tzaddik, be'emes la'amita, the way we're supposed to, and realize pashut with emunah and connect. Everything will try to tear us away from the tzaddik. Everything. And we have to do everything to connect and to hold on. Hashem should help us all, Bezat Hashem. Be matzliach with everything that you do. Tzlach Rabbah, we'll see you, Bezat Hashem, on Wednesday.